We've been waiting so long, the season's finally here. So get up and cheer, cause Timberwolves Talk is here. No need to fear, the wait is now gone. So farewell so long, cause Timberwolves Talk is on. Yeah, Timberwolves Talk is on.
Alrighty, welcome guys to this edition of Timberwolves Talk. It is November 2nd, 2021. It's starting to get a little colder out, man. It's starting to feel a little bit more like the basketball season has started. The Timberwolves definitely have not warmed up, I can tell you that.
Oh, that was a nice play on words there. And yeah, it's starting to feel like a normal basketball season, and after last night's Timberwolves game, it's also starting to feel like a normal basketball season again. So, yeah, we're pissed. I mean, as most Timberwolves fans and most people in the state of Minnesota, besides Chris, I guess, because he is a Bears fan. But most people in the state of Minnesota right now, we're struggling right now with the Athletics. And, I mean, we're pretty used to it at this point, but it gets kind of old, so.
Yeah, that was this weekend was two of the worst home losses in Minnesota sports history, in my opinion.
The Minnesota sports history. Wow.
The Vikings lost to Cooper Rush at home. I mean, the Cowboys without Dak are just probably not good. Like that's just how Dak's an elite quarterback. And then you got the Timberwolves coming in playing the 1-6 Magic, whose oldest starter is 24 years old. Their average lineup age is 21. And we go in there and get our asses whooped. On home court.
Embarrassed. We got embarrassed. And, like, yeah, they kind of reminded me of us last year a little bit, just without even, like, superstar. But they were such a young team, and it really felt like they wanted it more, and that we kind of – it's almost like we kind of felt like something bad was going to happen when they made a few threes, and then we just kind of let that fear overtake us in the whole game, and then they just ran away with it. And we were playing very passive.
I think Cole Anthony is like our new like now. He's gonna be that player that always goes off when we play.
He's like I can that already guy tell. On the Grizzlies.
Valanciunas.
No, the Grizzlies. The guy who goes off.
Oh, Dylan Brooks. Yeah,
he's like Dylan Brooks, man. He saves it for the Timberwolves, and I think dude, like it was just a brutal game. I actually went to the game. I drove all the way there. I paid $0 for my ticket, thankfully. And it was brutal. There was no energy in the arena at all. I swear more people cheered when Jalen Suggs scored than when the Timberwolves scored.
Yeah, honestly, like you were at the game, but just watching it on TV, it was like I didn't even know what to say at points in the game. It looked like once they went down, you kind of I bet you could feel the vibe in the building.
Yeah, we rolled over.
Going to come back. You just knew it. You knew they rolled over and we're not going to come back. It's just, I don't know if that's a lack of maybe having a veteran like Pat Bev. It's definitely that loss is from a few players not doing their best, like Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell before he got hurt. It's the same story. And I, like a lot of these Timberwolves podcasters are saying, I'm not too worried yet. You know, we are legitimately 6 games into the season. Like this is,
and we're 3-3. I mean, like, yeah, we've been in worse places. Like we're doing fine. It's troubling to see that, and it's even more troubling to feel that, the feeling of wow, we just lost to one of the worst teams in the NBA, and we didn't just lose to them. We got embarrassed, and
it's just troubling. Like that Magic defense, besides Mo Bamba, is not good. Jonathan Isaac's still out from his knee injury.
Right.
You should be able to at least drop 100 points on that Magic team. Like, at least.
I know this year we haven't been as offensive-minded as we're supposed to be, but we're supposed to be one of the best offenses in the NBA. We're supposed to be, like, top-heavy offensively, and we still have not showed that yet this year. Didn't we score under 100 against the Nuggets, too? Like, it...
Yeah, here's the numbers right here. This is all you guys need to know. We're 4th in defensive rating on defense, and we're 24th on offensive rating on offense. Like, if you would have told me we were 4th in something at the beginning of the season and 24th at something, I would have thought offense 4th and defense 24th. But no, it is opposite. And honestly, that kind of gives me some hope. And you're probably like, why? Why does that give you hope? We are gonna You cannot possibly shoot worse than we have shot. Like, besides Cat, like, everyone is shooting the 3-ball terribly and missing a bunch of layups. Cat's been the only efficient player on the Wolves, besides maybe Pat Bev. So I'm not too worried. Once these players get into a rhythm, I think once Malik starts hitting those threes and gets us 15 a game, I think that's a game changer. Because if Malik can get us 15 a game, we're going to win some of these more tightly contested games that we would otherwise lose.
Right, and the thing about Malik Beasley is he's shooting, like, what I find positive about his game right now, I guess, is that he's still shooting. And that's what I've always liked about Malik Beasley. He has killer confidence, and we know he can shoot. And, like, the fact that he's not rolling up on the ball and stop shooting, then maybe him shooting this much is hurting our team a little bit, but I still like to see it. I'd much rather have him keep shooting than stop shooting completely.
Yeah, so getting into kind of the game a little bit, the Magic rolled out a very, interesting lineup. 3 bigs. You really never, ever see that anymore. Like, the Timberwolves are one of the only other teams that rolls out, like, 3 guys 6'9" and above at least. The Lakers do it sometimes too. But, oh my goodness, man. Franz Wagner.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a great player. What a find by the Magic. What was he, 9th overall or something?
I think he was 8th or 9th, yeah. And touching on that, at the game, dude, I don't want to put my basketball knowledge on the line, like but I didn't really know who he was. I'm not gonna lie. I knew Mo Wagner had a brother. I knew he went to Michigan, but I did not know he was a top 10 pick. And when I saw him out there, I was like, yeah, this kid can play, because you can see. I can remember this with Anthony Edwards last year. You can tell if someone's a basketball player and if someone's not. Like, he's so well oiled out there. He has a great feel for the game. He's very athletic. He moves very well, and he just looked really good from the opening tip to the last buzzer.
Yeah. I really only, because obviously go to Wisconsin. I got to see him play on TV a couple times against Michigan, and he looked really good. And I was like, who is this guy? And I watched him last tournament. Obviously, Michigan did really well, and he was why they did really well. I didn't think he was going to be a top 10 pick, but after watching him in that game, he is so versatile, dude. He shoots that 3 effortless from the
and dude, he was
knocking him down.
That dunk happened right in front of my face, and
dude, he yammed. I love that guy.
I don't want to say, but he has sneaky athleticism.
Sneaky, really sneaky.
Oh, he's really good. I was gonna before we lost the game, like, while we were in the process of the game, I still thought we were gonna win the game at some point. It's probably somewhere in the third quarter. But I was like, I'm gonna come on the podcast and say that he was the best player out on the court, and, like, now it's pretty obvious because he torched us.
Yeah, and the big storyline too is, Jalen Suggs coming back to Minnesota, and for the most part he struggled. He did not shoot well whatsoever. He turned the ball over a few times. I don't know if he was just jittery coming back to Minneapolis or what, but he was kind of almost a non-factor in that game.
I mean, he still had 15 though.
Yeah, it was just Cole Anthony and Franz Wagner, man. Those two just torched us. Every time they shot the ball, it went in. And that Magic team, in a couple of years can be really decent down the road. They do remind me a little bit of us 3 years ago. So I think them and the Rockets have nice little cores, and, good. I don't think people understand that good teams lose to bad teams. Like, you guys just watched the Lakers get beat by Oklahoma. There's teams that drop bad games, and especially all the time in an 82 game season. You watch baseball, are you kidding me? Like, the Dodgers are going to get beat by super bad teams. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to look at it. If we had Patrick Beverley, if we had D'Angelo Russell in the second half, I think we would have won that game, because there were stretches there in the third quarter where we just looked really unorganized out there. It seemed like when Anthony Edwards was running the point guard, we were struggling a lot. And I don't know. I don't think Anthony Edwards should be running the point guard very often, because he looked sloppy, man. I'm the first person to praise Anthony Edwards always. I love Anthony Edwards as a player, but the guy cannot be shooting this many threes. I think I saw a stat that he's like 9th in the league in 3 points attempted per game, and I'm trying to find it over here, but I can't. But he's got to get to the basket. Sometimes it looks so effortless when he gets up there and does that left-handed extension. he needs to be doing that a lot more and quit settling for the three. He needs to.
Especially watching on TV, like you definitely saw it more being there, but every single time he drove to the cup, he beat his man. Like he beat his man directly off the dribble, and he had a free lane to the basket. And he's missed a couple layups this year, but I'd rather have him miss a few layups and take like 5 more threes than he needs to take a game. And that just it kills the possession, first of all, having Anthony Edwards chuck up an early shot clock 3. And kind of going off the subject a little bit, but Jordan McLaughlin kept doing that, and I was getting furious. He kept chucking up threes like 4 seconds into the shot clock, and I'm like, I really don't want J-Mac shooting threes.
Well, the thing is, you can get that shot at any time.
Exactly.
In the possession, why not work it around until, maybe if you can't get a shot with 10 or 15 seconds off the shot clock, then maybe you can look for that shot, especially Cat. Cat can get an open 3 any single possession that he wants. Anytime.
Yeah, and if he's, I don't really honestly have a problem with Cat taking threes early in the shot clock because we know he can hit it at a 40% clip. That's not an issue. If Cat's feeling it, I'm totally fine with him doing his thing at the top of the key, catching it and shooting it over his guy. Or I don't hate his step back either. I think he's the only big man to really do a step back, and it looks a little wonky, but it goes in. But he's really the only one that should be, taking that 3. He's the only one that can hit that right now. And I would say Malik can hit contested threes, but he's just not doing it right now. You got to, if you're Malik, man, you take every open shot you get. But if you're covered, man, just pass the ball off. It's going to kill your confidence taking more contested threes. So there's a lot of things this team can improve on, which is like, it's honestly good saying.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that need to be improved and are going to be improved. There's simple things that we did last year that we're just not doing yet this year, and it's going to happen. It's going to come with time. Another thing I wanted to talk about too was Cat had a really efficient night, but I also believe he could have done a lot more, and I also believe he was really sloppy inside. I don't know if you caught that at all from the game, but
it's funny.
Just watching that.
I was just about to bring up that same exact topic. I was just about to bring up the same thing, that for me, it was really quite alarming that Karl Anthony Towns couldn't have a bigger impact in the game at the end of it. Like, we've called him a top 15 player in the league, right?
Yeah.
I think we both have said that, but he needs, when everyone is out, when everyone's struggling, he needs to be able to take over a game. And I think he really lacked that last night. And we've talked about how good of a free throw shooter he was. I think he was 0 for 4 at one point in that game at free throws. I remember leaning over to my buddy and saying he's an automatic at the free throw line. Then he missed 4 straight, and I was like, okay, well,
that was a killer too. Those first 2 didn't impact too much because we were up by 10. But the third and the fourth ones, I think it was a technical free throw and one on the and one. It was when the game was really close. We could have extended the lead a little bit more, and that's obviously a back burner. And then I remember later in the game, Vando got fouled. I'm like, well, these are 2 automatic misses, and he drains them both.
He made them both.
And Vando's been looking decent from the free throw line, actually. Yeah. And I guess going into the next thing, there was just so much to talk about this game. I really do like Vando. I think from where he's come at the beginning of last year, me and you were counting him out as like a maybe backup power forward at most. I've loved Vando so far this year, and I think he's deserved this spot. I don't know what the future holds for him. Hopefully he can keep improving, get that. I'm honestly not mad he took a couple threes in that game. If he's really working on that 3-point shot, and he's open in the corner.
Jay Moore doesn't think so.
The second one wasn't open, but if Vando thinks he can hit that corner 3 and he starts doing it, that's just another dimension to his game that is good. And I think Vando's really been one of the only bright spots the past couple losses.
Yeah, and we're never going to know if he can shoot the corner 3 if he never shoots it. So you're right there. The only thing that we as fans know is that he was shooting a lot of threes and they were not going in the off season. But in all reality, some of those shots last night at the game, I was like, okay, we could have got a better shot. But you got to shoot it at some point. And the question I have for you, Chris, is Jared Vanderbilt the answer at the 4? Or are we still kind of in that spot where we still need a 4, but he's doing a good job as of now to fill it, and maybe this whole season we could work with him. But are we still going to need to get a 4 this offseason, or is he the answer?
I think Vando being only, is he 23, 22, 23? You know, he's developing like our core group of guys. He's kind of in that same age range. I was kind of with you before on getting maybe a veteran big, but Vando has persuaded me with just his intensity. Like he is Pat, but he's the starter Pat Bev. He is always going to go for the rebound. You know, is he going to make dumb mistakes? Is he going to drop the ball? Is he going to make an errant pass? Is he going to miss a layup or two? Yes, of course he is. He's not perfect, but I want the guy who's going to come in and play intense defense every single minute he's on the floor throughout his shift. I don't care if it's 1 minute or 8 minutes. And Vando, I believe, is the best rebounder for his height in the NBA. I think John Krasinski said it the other day on his podcast, and I totally agree with it. Every single time a ball is in Vando's direction, he jumps so high and grabs the ball at the peak. He's a really good rebounder. I think he's one of the most underrated rebounders in the league. And that really helps a team, especially, you know, Cat doesn't just have to grab all these rebounds by himself, because Jaden's not a premier rebounder by any means. So I'm going to say for the rest of the season, yes, if his supporting cast of DLO, Ant, and Cat play like they all can play all at once, and Vando's in there and McDaniels is in there, I think that's a playoff lineup.
Sorry, I muted myself. We had the bells ringing over here, but yeah, I'm kind of still in the middle. I think that maybe if we could find a better 4 out there, if the right deal presents itself or something, I wouldn't be against it, because we could still have Vando coming off the bench, and he's still going to bring that same energy coming off the bench. And especially with our lineup that we have right now, our starting lineup, he doesn't need to score. He doesn't need to be a playmaker off the dribble. So I think as of now, I think he is the answer, and I think that the problems we're having is not attributed to having Jared Vanderbilt start at the 4. It's actually one of the bright spots, as you said. And yeah, that one-handed rebound he had. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, that one was sick.
Fantastic. You're right. He probably is one of the best rebounders for his size in the whole NBA. And yeah, so does DLO being out, does that mean that Patrick Beverley is going to get his first start as a Timberwolf? If he's out, like, he might still be out too.
Oh, I think Pat Bev will. You know, I'm not gonna like give you guys 100%.
No, Chris is per Chris Jansen NBA.
Like I said, I'm not an inside source. We just do this podcast for fun. Hopefully, get somewhere in the future. But I do believe Pat Bev will be playing. I think he especially rested last game. I don't know.
That's kind of what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I think he wants a revenge game against the Clippers. There's no way Pat Bev misses this game. He's gonna start at the 1 next game, especially with DLO just being announced out today for the Clippers game. DLO, I think, escaped with only a minor sprain, so hopefully he'll just be out for 1 or 2 of these next couple games, and we'll get him back. But you know, it could be the switch up this offense needs, man. It really could. I don't know. Maybe Pat Bev can do some stuff that DLO can't and get some more guys involved. Maybe not make the offense stall out.
Yeah, it's stall out. That's a great way to say it. I feel like just so many possessions going the other way. So in the 3rd and 4th quarter, it just seemed like just so sloppy. Like we didn't have any plays that we were running. It was just kind of get the ball to Cat, who had Okiki on him, and just have him try to back him down. And he was struggling to back down Okiki, and Okiki is not the biggest player. And I saw, and I was like, dude, at first I was like, mismatch, get the ball to Cat, and then I saw Cat try to back him down. I'm like, wait a second, this is not a mismatch. This is actually he's kind of like a PJ Tucker type player. He's a shorter, like stocky bulldog type guy, but you know, Chuma Okiki kind of kept us in the game. He missed so many threes. Yeah, he looked really familiar. I had to look him up. He's from Auburn, but I was like, God, that guy looks familiar. I remember I probably had Auburn going a few games in the playoffs, but yeah, I think we've covered as much as we really need to on this game. I think some closing statements I'd like to say is that this is not the same old Timberwolves that we've had every year. I'm very optimistic still. The fact that I care this much, you know, it means I'm a big time fan, I'm very invested. And I'd like to say, I don't think this is the end of the season. I don't think this is going to be like every other season, but yeah, I hope that the players feel this feeling and realize, you know what, I don't want this ever again, and we're going to play a more complete game, never underestimate another team, and you know what, hopefully we go out, get 2 wins against the Clippers back to back.
Yeah. So this video will be going live tomorrow for you guys, November 3rd, and that will also be the day of our Clippers versus Timberwolves live stream. Peyton and I will be doing the same thing we usually do. We'll get you guys, try to get you on at about like 6:50ish, so you can come in the stream before the game starts, go over the lineups, injuries. Yeah, it's a good time. The last stream was super successful. You guys got to keep that same energy, and we need that energy more than ever right now.
We do. We need to have a fun game, because I feel like everyone's going to be down in the dumps. We need to have some energy going. And me and Chris are going to bring the energy in the stream. I hope you know that. We're going to be yelling. We're going to be loud. But that's not the end of the podcast. I don't want you guys to think that. That was the end of the first game of that last game recap. We got that out of the way. Now we can talk about some fun things. The first thing I want to talk about, the new uniforms. Chris, what do you think about them? I knew you were pretty high on them to start out. What do you think about them now?
I'm still really high on them. It sucks because like I've purchased like I feel like a good amount of jerseys over the last couple of years from the Timberwolves. Like I have 3 Timberwolves jerseys actually, which is more than I thought I'd ever have. And it sucks because I really do like these jerseys, but I just can't I can't bring myself to purchase another Timberwolves jersey. Yeah. Like there's just, and that's the whole point of it. If we're being honest, that's the whole point of the city editions. Like it's cool and all to have new jerseys, but they really do make these so you guys buy a new jersey every year. It's right. A beautiful marketing strategy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree, but I love it. I love having new jerseys all the time. It keeps it from getting stale. I love them. They've grown on me so much ever since I've seen them, and I will 100% be buying one. And I just don't know who. I don't know. I wanted to get a Jaden McDaniels one. I was thinking about it. A little weird because I'm hoping to get an Anthony Edwards white jersey for Christmas, so I don't need an Ant one. So it's either between Jaden McDaniels or Malik Beasley.
Two players who could be involved in trade.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the Malik Beasley jersey is a stretch, because his name's still on the trade block, and also Jaden McDaniels as well. So I don't know. I need some help, Chris. What's like the safest jersey I could get? Probably a cat one, but I don't want a cat jersey. I'm not the biggest cat guy, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's tough. Like you might have to go DLO.
No, I would never get a DLO jersey.
I who had a great game last game that we didn't really mention? Maybe a Naz Reid jersey. Who knows? He's a free agent though this year, so
yeah, exactly, man. See, it's a hard choice. Are they even going to sell Malik Beasley jerseys? Like usually they don't. They only sell Ant, Cat, DLO, and a Kogi for some reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in a Kogi jersey, I guess.
No, I think I'm leaning towards McDaniels right now, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like that'd be a pretty dope jersey.
Big Mac would be a safe pick. I think the Wolves are pretty high on him. I don't know. It would probably be a Ben Simmons trade if they were to give him away.
Yeah, I agree.
But like, what do you think so far has been our best city edition jersey? Like, including these.
So you're gonna have to remind me quick on all the city editions.
So we started off with the gray jersey in the Jimmy Butler era. That was the 2017-2018. That's the year we made the playoffs. The next jersey was the Prince jersey.
Okay, we had two iterations of that, right?
So we had a white Prince jersey and we had a black one first, and then I think you got another city edition if you made the playoffs that year. And I think that was the
you're confused now.
No. The gray one was the playoffs year. So I don't know why. I think we just got another, an alternative Prince jersey. I really do like the white Prince jersey. Yes. Those ones are cool. And then the next year was the light blues. Oof. And then this past year, obviously the North Stars, and this year we got the cool. I don't even know what you call these. Like they're
the retro. They're like the
new retro.
No, the remix. The retro remixes.
Yeah,
is what they're calling them. I think the worst ones are the North Star and the Grays. I don't like either of those.
I would agree.
I've never really liked either of those. I'm going with either the light blues or the white Princes.
Yeah, those ones are incredible. If the black trees weren't just an alternate, I would say those. But like, I don't know what we got to do to petition to get those back. Like those are like some of the coolest jerseys we've ever had. And I don't like, where did they go if they were just alternate jerseys?
Yeah,
I don't know how we petition to get these jerseys back. Like they have the rights to use them. I'm pretty sure. I don't
think
know.
we petitioned to get rid of the greens. I mean, we've had extensive talks about the jerseys before. I feel like not many people have covered the Timberwolves jerseys to the extent that we have. We made like what, a 40-minute tier list about them.
We did. That was kind of a weird era in our
The
channel.
tier list era. Yeah, we've had some tier list eras for sure. But
it's kind of been like our channel has been so weird. Like it's gone from like fishing. If you guys were the OGs, it's gone to fishing to like regular podcasts to like semi NBA topics
to like business podcast.
And now we're doing just Timberwolves journalism, and that's the beauty of it. We kind of figured out what we like to do. You know, we kind of
and we're still like we're doing live streams. Like now we're focused more on the live stream. So it is all over the place, and that's the most fun because it's like this thing is just a job. It's just a hobby on the side, so we can do whatever we want with it, man.
Oh, yeah,
that's the best part. We could switch it up tomorrow and make this a fully stock podcast if we wanted. Like we could do whatever we want. We could switch all the logos, switch the names. But
we're messing with you guys. We'll always do the Timberwolves. You know that.
I hope so. But but yeah, I think that I think the Timberwolves are going to be okay, man. I really do. If you guys are enjoying this content, if you guys are enjoying our personalities, the electricity, tomorrow live stream 6:50 Eastern or Central Time, and hopefully we're gonna cheer on the Wolves to a win. I hope so, man. Thank you guys.
It's possible, man. Just kind of cut off the outro there, but hey, man, it's possible.
It's all right.
Clippers are down players.
No, you know what? I'd like to say this. I'd like to end on this note. I think that these next two Clipper games is going to tell a lot about this Timberwolves team because we're going to be down D-Lo. I'd say if we win 1 out of 2, I'm going to be content. You know, not going to be too excited. I'm just going to be okay. We did the job. If we win them both, I'm going to be right back to where I was after that Bucks game. I'm going to be electric, super excited. Back to where we were saying they're going to be the 6 seed or the 5 seed or whatever me and Chris were saying after that game. And if we lose both of them, I'm going to be worried. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, man, I'm going to be pretty worried if we lose both the games. I think we all should be. So, must win.
That's right. That's the beauty of sports, guys. Thank you so much for watching this podcast. You can find us anywhere: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere.
Wherever you're currently listening, you could probably find it there too.
That's right.
Have a good rest of your day, guys.